Are you a woman standing at a crossroads, eager for change? It's time to connect with your authentic and empowered self at Boss Leap. Join Dr. Sylvia Morris and Dr. Angela Walker in this empowering community where real-life stories of courageous and talented women inspire and motivate. Engage in honest conversations that foster well-being, drawing from our own journeys. Let us guide you toward profound growth and transformation in both your personal and professional life. Here are your hosts, Dr. Sylvia Morris and Dr. Angela Walker.
Welcome to Boss Leap. I'm Dr. Sylvia Morris, and I'm joined by my lovely co-host.
I'm Dr. Angela Walker.
And on Boss Leap, we celebrate bold moves, authentic stories, and the people who inspire us to step fully into our power.
Today, we're joined by a proud Texas Longhorn, journalist at AfroTech, and a talented photographer.
She's passionate about amplifying underrepresented voices, creating safe spaces for authenticity, and reporting on innovation and wealth building for marginalized communities.
We're going to dive into her journey, the stories she's passionate about, and her self-care secrets for thriving as a creative in today's world. And without further ado, we bring you Samantha Dorisca.
Samantha Dorisca, welcome to Boss Leap.
Happy to be here. I'm super excited. Happy Saturday, everyone.
Happy Saturday. So in our podcast, we'd love to just start at the beginning. And for you, we'd love to know what sparked your love for storytelling and maybe how that evolved into a career in journalism. And you can go back as far as you like.
So did I always know I was going to be a journalist off the jump? No. But I do know, I live in Houston, but I was born in Boston. And I would used to write novels on a computer that eventually just randomly stopped working. So I lost everything. I remember I had characters that I know it was so sad.
Oh.
So many pages and I just got lost in it. And it was based on high school, a high school experience. So I feel like I knew I had a knack for writing, but again, I wasn't thinking too much of it. In school, I thought I was going to go the law school route, just being transparent, law school or being a doctor. There's just certain career paths that were normalized. So I just chose one, but there wasn't much intentionality behind it. And I just wasn't happy. So I had transferred into UT Austin in 2017. On the summer before graduating, I was studying for the LSAT and I just realized I don't want to, I shouldn't be here. This is not for me. So, which was really scary because obviously I'm about to graduate.
So how did you find the courage to kind of say, hey, this is not for me?
I would say the state of mind I was in, I just knew I wouldn't be able to proceed forward. So I just told my parents hey, look, I know I was studying this, but I actually don't want to do it. It was really emotional for me. And initially before writing, I had also in high school, I also was really into photography. So I would take pictures on my iPhones. I would do photo shoots with my friends. So initially to kind of cope, I bought a camera with my college refund money at Best Buy, whatever I had.
Love that.
Yeah. And I just started snapping away at anything. Literally I would walk outside and just take pictures of the concrete, the sky. Cause I was also kind of introverted at UT. So I wasn't initially really forward facing or talking to people like that. And then I tried out for the Daily Texan, which was a newspaper, not as a writer.
Big deal.
Yeah.
College newspaper.
Yeah.
It was. And I wasn't qualified. I really think that was God's favor in that moment. And they just saw the passion because I didn't know anything about photography. I was not qualified to be a photojournalist there. But like I said, I do feel like that was God's favor. So yeah, I started doing photojournalism.
And your gumption or moxie.
Yeah. God is good.
All the time.
Started doing photojournalism, graduated. And then this was also in the midst of COVID after because I graduated in 2019. Originally, I got an internship that I thought was going to be in California. It was a really big internship at the time, but that fell through as a result of COVID. And then I started doing some internships with Houstonia magazine on the writing side. And then I interned for free at Girls Life magazine under Catherine Hammer. And I remember one thing about me, when I'm somewhere, I will put my all into it. I used to have some hourly jobs as well. And I still had that same kind of discipline and grit. It was Catherine Hammer who actually told me, hey, look, I feel like you should be like somewhere else and like doing more. It kind of hurt at the time. I'm not going to lie to you, but I'm so glad she had that conversation with me. Yeah. And pushed me to the next chapter. So I didn't have an immediate step foot in media yet as a journalist, like more full time. Until I did a 40-hour fast. And I wasn't fasting for a job. I just had a lot of things going on in my life that I wasn't happy with.
Yeah.
So I did no makeup, no fake hair. I did not leave my room except for water. And I just rested with God. I prayed, read my Bible, and also literally rested with God. With no
for 40 days.
Oh, no, 48 hours.
Oh, okay.
I heard 40 days too.
I thought I might.
It's like, woo, that's commitment.
So that would have been,
But still,
that would have been amazing.
in this day and age, though, 40 hours is a lot to be completely unplugged. So, yeah. And tell us more.
I broke that fast. And then a week or two later, I went on, I believe it was Twitter at the time. We call it X. And I saw my current editor, Micah Davis, managing editor of AfroTech. She put a call out for writers. Mind you, at that time, I had never written about technology necessarily, right? My beats had been a little bit different back then. So once again, on paper, I was not qualified, in my personal opinion, applied anyway with the materials that I had. And I truthfully believe like that was God also opening the doors and like just obeying that feeling. And I haven't looked back ever since. I've been at AfroTech specifically for nearly 5 years, going in August.
So Samantha, let's go back a little bit. When you mentioned that you are also a photojournalist, when you introduce yourself at a party, are you a journalist? Are you a photographer? I think of you as a creative. And how does that show exactly how you see yourself?
That's a really good question. So I guess now, technically, do I consider myself a photojournalist? Not necessarily, but yes, photographer. I ended up actually starting doing grad photos when I was at UT Austin in 2020. I kind of fell into that, and I literally have a grad shoot tomorrow. So I've been doing grad shoots for the last 5 years consistently as well. My peak times are during the springtime. I think it just depends on the rooms that I'm in. A lot of the spaces that I'm in, I do feel like it's under my journalist hat. Sometimes I'll bring up photography, but I tend to kind of keep both worlds a little bit separate. So I feel like the people who know me most as a photographer is if you're following my Instagram page. I do talk about it on LinkedIn every now and then. And obviously like the grad students that I'm interacting with. I started doing headshots events as well last year. I haven't done too many, maybe 5. But I don't know. I think I will be honest. I don't really walk into rooms with my titles. Like I generally like connecting.
Yes.
Just to connect.
Organically. Yes.
Organically. And so of course, if you get the, what do you do? That's where I'll be like, oh, I'm a journalist and I do photography. So I think I lead with myself first, transparently. And then I'll lead with like, oh, I'm a journalist and like a photographer.
So you probably won't be able to necessarily answer this question, but what I'm hearing is, it started off maybe as you were young, you wrote from the kind of the onset, but you thought that, law or one of those, classic career paths was going to be for you, and then discovered, in college, which is a great time to discover that you want to change, and then picked up the camera and kind of picked up the pen again, doing both of those things. Can you see what you would like to be doing with both of those talents maybe in 10 years from now, 20 years from now? Or are you just taking it day by day?
I will say, and I do think this could be an Achilles heel. I'm somebody who's super present, which I think can be a pro and it can be a con. So, but I'm trying to work on that because I'm like, but
I think that will always serve you.
Absolutely.
Sitting as your resident auntie for the purposes of our conversation, being super present is something that I probably didn't learn until maybe last week. So hold on to that.
Okay,
Absolutely.
Okay, let me maintain the idea that it is a superpower. But I know in terms of preparation, because I'm 29 and I do feel like 29 is a very surreal year for me. In general before my 30s. So, and of course, naturally, people will ask you what's next to in conversations when I'm talking about people. So I I don't know, but I know a lot of people are always saying, oh, you should be, I feel like a lot of journalists will get this, oh, like launch your own media company or, start hosting events and things of that nature. So I don't know what that will look like for me, but what I do know is like, I do always want to be doing something that's like amplifying others and like a lot of people in our community. I don't ever want that to stop. I don't know what that physical media, like medium would look like. I don't know if that'll be a media company. Will that be doing gatherings? I've even thought about doing like more virtual sessions where I can like start teaching people about like how to pitch to media. That's something I'm really passionate about too. So I don't know what that will look like. It could be any of those, maybe one of them, all the things.
Okay.
I do want to
love it. Well, perfect. So the question was definitely not to put you on the spot or make you think you needed to have an answer for it. But what I heard out of that is the dream is to continue to amplify people's voices. And so clearly you've got talent in different areas and you'll figure that part out. So very good.
I agree.
Very good.
Thank you.
So question for you. At AfroTech, you cover wealth building and innovation. Am I correct?
Yeah. Yeah, correct. Innovation plus tech, yeah.
Okay. So what drew you to this particular intersection and, why do you think that it's important as a space for Black and Brown communities, particularly right now? Yeah.
So what's kept my interest here is because I've learned so much through my time at AfroTech. I'm naturally a student, whatever I'm doing. So I'm also naturally learning every day, learning about different people who are doing amazing things. And like I interact and, have conversations with people pretty often. I'm kind of in a fortunate place where like I'm in a state of constantly being inspired because there's so many cool things happening. Like I know recently we did a story on like Spelman students who literally had an AI powered conversational tool to assess like plant health. Like people are doing really incredible work. And then on top of that, as far as what was the second part of the question?
It basically, I think you pretty much answered it. Why do you think it's an important space in right now in this particular moment for Black and Brown communities in terms of wealth building and innovation?
Yeah, I mean, I think it's super important. One, I know like what the stats say, but there are a lot of people doing incredible work to better like their communities, to better the world, to better the next generation, right? Across like tech or maybe like financial literacy, med tech, energy, sustainability, and all these arenas. And it should be highlighted. Sometimes it's overlooked, but the work is being done and it's changing outcomes, right? It's making lives better for other people. So I think the work matters now more than ever. I know I'm doubling down and like my commitment has never changed, like the communities that like we often highlight, right? That hasn't changed at all. But I think it'll remain important. And I hope other people like continue to be like inspired by a lot of these amazing founders, a lot of these mission initiatives that, should exist. So yeah.
Mm-hmm. Very good.
Is there one story that you think we ought to be paying attention to now?
I would definitely say always be paying attention to the next generation. So I feel like recently I've been able to have some like really great conversations from students. I just gave you guys the examples of the Spelman students. I know I interviewed somebody else, his name is Joel. He had like a technology as well that kind of helps detect like victims in the midst of like people who are needing disaster relief. Too, I thought that was really interesting. I believe that's like a drone technology that they're using for that. And I know another story too was like an AI-powered biodegradable pad that can assess medical reports and give a health analysis as well. So, and these are all students. So, pay attention to students or the next generation of builders who are here too. I'm super excited to see how far that they go. I know, transparently speaking, when I was a UT Austin college student, I was not thinking about building in that way. So it's been really beautiful to see that level of tech innovation at such an early age. So I would tell people like pay attention to the youth too, and then like what they're doing and support them too. Some of them really genuinely need support. So yeah.
Great advice. Great advice.
So when we're talking about kind of AfroTech, can you kind of give us a one-liner of what AfroTech is?
Yeah, so definitely like a wealth building platform. And, we also highlight a lot of like tech is at the center and like innovation and highlighting different pioneers like within our community and different things that like are impacting our community. This can also translate into the editorial side. So we, of course, have AfroTech.com. We have a Twitter, Facebook, Instagram page, and a LinkedIn, also on Threads. And also there's the AfroTech conference, right? It's an annual conference. Called the Black Tech Mecca. Super amazing, brings across different leaders. Like I said,
from around the world. When I was looking at the Instagram from last year.
Yeah, and don't quote me, but I believe like there were over like 40,000 attendees for the most recent one. So,
wow.
Which was in Houston, and it's returning again in Houston, November 2nd through the 6th. But there's also that component to it too. So yeah, it's just a safe space for like a lot of people in our community to learn, to be educated, to be informed, and also just connect with different thought leaders on the conference side. But I think that same level of inspiration also exists within the editorial realm as well.
So when we're talking about journalism, we run toward, if it bleeds, it leads, I think is one of the phrases in journalism. How do you then maintain your own authenticity in an industry that often rewards conformity?
Another great question. I'm going to credit that, like I said, to remaining like a student and like remaining it's so hard for me to not be inspired by a lot of people. I'm deeply rooted by the idea of, again, amplifying a lot of people in our community. This exists in my role as a photographer. This also exists in my role as a journalist. Like before coming to AfroTech, I already kind of had that conviction as well. And that's just very authentic to me. And I do think it's really reflected in how I tell stories and the stories that I find as well. So I think that mission statement, which has been tried and true for me every single day, I think that's kind of helped me maintain like a level of authenticity and just my approach to stories and like how I'm interacting with people and how I'm even like discovering these stories or opening up my heart. I think all of that plays a part.
And from your reporting, you mentioned for us to keep an eye on the youth, the young people, those emerging thought leaders from the younger ages. What are some of the most exciting trends or innovations you see shaping the future of wealth building for marginalized communities, maybe outside of the AI aspect? Or incorporating AI, let's say that.
Yeah, I know so many things. I feel like you're seeing like AI being used like for efficiencies or like in so many different ways. Trying to think beyond that. There's still a lot. Like I know like robotics, I'm seeing some super cool things on what that's doing with on the healthcare side. That's been super interesting. Or even on the education side, right? Like robots that can be used like for tutoring students, robots that can be used to maybe help people who need help around their homes, right? And they can't move around. I know I was at CES this year and I was seeing some like pretty cool like technology in person.
CES?
CES.
It's in Vegas. Yeah. It's like
it's a consumer product show, correct?
Yeah. And it has a lot of like tech like on their expo floor.
Okay.
So that might be like one arena to be thinking about. There's so many, like I do so many stories. Oh my God, my brain is kind of thumped. It's like,
I can imagine you're on a daily, if you're, my best friend is a journalist by training, and the amount of information that you guys consume on a daily basis is it's awe-inspiring. So to be able to navigate those spaces and be able to pick certain things to tell us, I can imagine.
But I do also add maybe like learning labs. Like I know recently I was in Detroit, Michigan, for the grand opening of like their Boys and Girls Cup of Greater Detroit. And they had opened up an innovation hub. It's backed by like Usher and Big Sean. And I was able to go there in person and like see the really great work that they'll be doing for students, designers. AI will be included in it. Again, just creating opportunities for people in fashion, right? And like giving them opportunities that are positioning them to also like be entrepreneurs, right? Launch their brands, right? Get a deal with PacSun. So that's also been like really cool. Maybe seeing some of those like innovation hubs that we're beginning to see more of. I also had seen one in Birmingham, Alabama, in partnership with Apple. Got to see what their learning labs are doing. So like I said, I do have a really big pulse for the youth and like the next generation. So that's another area to think of too.
Very cool.
I love that. And what do you read? You're a journalist. You're keeping, in touch with younger generations. Clearly, you know how to communicate with those of us who are a little bit older. But on a daily basis, what do you read?
That's a good question. So as a journalist, I'm definitely reading a lot of course, like tech stories. Obviously am reading other outlets as well and like keeping my mind super informed, like Business Insider, TechCrunch, New York Times, et cetera. I also watch a lot of podcast interviews too. And like I hear people's conversations. I learned so many tidbits and nuggets too, like through these podcast interviews. And again, a lot of it is across my pillars, like again, medtech, energy, sustainability, AI, education, the business of sports, financial literacy. Like I'm trying to read a lot of that. And I do that every single day, even on the weekends, even in my like weird pockets of free time too that I get. And then on a personal end, I'm going to be transparent with y'all. As far as like picking up a book, that was a commitment. I was like, in 2026, I need to also like, yes, I'm also reading to stay informed as my work as a journalist, but I also want to read more for leisure. I feel like I got away from that, to be transparent with you guys. So I did start reading in 2026 and to help myself out because I feel like I'm always so busy. I'm not necessarily like taking hours out of my day to read, but I am reading during moments of like getting my nails done at the salon. Cause that's 1 hour where like, I'm not doing it. So I think I've been able to read like 300-400s. I'm reading on the romance side though, which is interesting. I'm not even like,
good for you.
I love a romance novel.
Yeah,
absolutely.
I just finished with Bridgerton. Now I should be reading not should. I intend to maybe read a book or two, but I'm all into the Netflix series, but it's not reading. Yes.
That's cool. Well, yeah, it comes in ebbs and flows. So I think we've all been there in terms of our reading and feeding ourselves. And I think however you read, as long as you are getting some joy out of it, that's what matters most. So good for you.
So how do you decide what moments have the potential to become powerful stories? You're reading a lot. You talk to a lot of people on the various days. You're doing the podcast. But how do you kind of laser focus in on a particular story?
So I'm not going to talk too much on the like aggregated news cycle sides. Like that's stuff that, everyone's like seeing. It's happening. It's a current event. So I won't address that. I'm going to address more of my, I guess, feature angles, or more unique content where like you're not going to see multiple outlets maybe picking it up initially. One, I'm going to give credit to a lot of founders, builders, or leaders who share like updates across maybe like a LinkedIn or different social media platforms. Like they're making aware of what's going on. I know me, I'm generally always like paying attention to that. Every day I'm seeing like what's the latest, what's new. Like a great example of that, she's actually here in Houston, then I think about it. Her name is Chantel, and I was on LinkedIn one day and I was like scrolling and I saw she had posted she was opening up a vending machine in like the SUNY districts in New York. I think when I saw it, it had like 9 likes at the time, but I had like pitched it in our Slack channel because I thought it was super cool seeing somebody. She was young, and again, she just opened up this. It was a beauty vending machine, so it had like a bonnet, like a got to be spray.
Yes.
And yeah, I pitched it and it got approved, right? Just her just making that post and making it aware. That was tech, that was innovation. So that's what I look for, things like that. It might be as simple as, not simple because it's a huge feat. Oh, we just raised funding, we just closed funding, and maybe I'll see that announcement. I know what we look for at AfroTech, things of that nature. So I'm generally looking for innovation and people sharing their authentic stories too. Nice. So that's kind of how I go about it. I'm always looking at people's personal anecdotes and like innovations across like social media. So I always encourage people, please share your updates. Don't be silent about what you're building. It is really important for media and also yourself too. So yeah, definitely share your updates, tell your stories, because I know people like me are definitely watching.
So on the lines of telling stories, tell us, what's your best storytelling advice you've ever received, and how has it shaped maybe your approach now?
That's a really good question. Best storytelling advice that I've ever received. Probably understanding that, yes, you're creating a story, but it's really about the person. The person, I know for me, I don't necessarily just focus the stories specifically on the technology, right? Like, I like how you guys started off our conversation, right? Learning more about their formative years, like who they are, like their heart posture, like those are things that I also think are super important. So just kind of like understanding like this isn't like a story, like this is like a person behind the story, and like just kind of always making sure you're acknowledging people's like humanity. I think that's like for me, like the best storytelling advice. Especially because sometimes you're going into situations where some people have really gone through a lot in their experiences, which has inspired what they built. Like on the maternal health side, I've spoken to some people with some like very, heartbreaking like stories. So you have to be like really mindful of like how you're handling those conversations, how you're handling that story and that person. So I would say that part, the humanity part, like never lose sight of that in, people's heart too.
Love that.
How do you protect your heart when you do those types of stories?
That's a really good question too. I think just even naturally how I am in my day to day, and I can't really tell you why. I do feel like when it comes to like really emotional things, I do feel like I'm somebody who can like hear a lot of things.
Because you're super present. That's your superpower.
I never articulated why, but that might be why. But I am able to navigate those conversations, regardless of maybe how difficult of what I might be hearing about them. But yeah, maybe that is to me being present, like with them in that moment. So I don't really know, but I'm gonna give it to being present.
Very good.
What was your boss leap moment?
Oof, it would definitely have to be for sure. So before AfroTech, and after my internships, I know I had like a standstill period, to be transparent with you guys. And I was at a grocery store working. I think I was getting paid like $16.75 an hour. I don't remember how long I was doing that, but I do remember I was doing curbside. And I remember I was doing curbside, and I was also in a master's program at the time as well, studying strategic media. And then I did not think I would get a more full-time role in media at this time either, especially when I was doing my master's, to be transparent with you guys. So AfroTech came in the midst of that. And I remembered like I would be doing interviews in like the parking lot, like of a grocery store, like trying to balance it all because I couldn't always take off work because, journalism things can come up. Sometimes I might have to call off, and I realized like there was like this strain that was happening, and I was super overwhelmed. And I'm also doing my master's, and I just was really overwhelmed, but I also knew like I want to focus here. Like I like being here. And I remembered I went to go quit at the grocery store. And I talked to the store manager, and it was really interesting because, I feel like I was replaceable, like to be transparent with you guys. And I don't even think the store manager, she really knew me. But I remember when I went to go quit, she called me into her office and she said, she heard my goals and like what I was trying to do. She goes, honestly, like we'll even allow you to just work here one day a week for just 4 hours, just so you can gain any benefits, your 401k, which was really nice.
Beautiful.
Yeah.
Right. But I still walked away. And I just pursued AfroTech full time. And that for me was my boss sleep moment, 100%. And I don't regret the decision at all. So I would say that moment. I've never said that on the record, but yeah.
That's a beautiful story though, because it's very telling about your value in what the environment that you were in the workforce. And it's a good story for people to know when you don't see a path, sometimes just asking or being brave enough to say, this is what I need to do. Sometimes, the path might change, but you still may be able to stay in that work environment. But for you, it's like, no, it's still going to get in the way of what I want to do. But the value of your work ethic. So beautiful. Yeah. So storytelling, obviously, you mentioned, maternal morbidity, mortality, and those types of stories. And I imagine just hearing your heart thus far, being very compassionate and remembering the human part of the stories, sounds like it can be emotionally demanding. So we would love to know what your self-care regimen looks like, how you stay grounded and how you recharge while holding space for other people's stories.
That's true. Cause at the end of the day, like you still need to take care of yourself. You can't go out of an empty cup for sure.
Yes.
So I'm Christian. I love the Lord. So I'm like, let me talk about God. Definitely God. My faith journey, like sometimes is more consistent than other times, but regardless, like God is definitely my rock and like my moral compass. And anytime I stray away from that too, like I also don't like how I handle myself and things of that nature. So definitely God is like my center point. And a big part of like my self-care routine. Also, I notice I feel really good just stepping outside. I'm not even saying I have to travel, just stepping outside.
Being outside, yes.
Right? The sun on my face, like the breeze, it just does something really good for my like soul. I don't know what it is. So literally that, just being outside for a moment, being around people who care about me, and traveling too. I think traveling has been a great part of my self-care. I've learned a lot about people. I've learned a lot about cities. I've learned about like innovation across cities that I wouldn't have known if I didn't leave Houston to go see it in person. So that's also been a really great part of my self-care routine, traveling. And also I love to eat. Like I love to experience new things, see new things. So those are probably things that I definitely intertwine within my self-care like that. Those are like must-haves for me.
Is there a favorite city you have so far?
So I loved Detroit so much. I really did.
Which one?
Have you guys been?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yes. Motown Museum.
I didn't get to go yet.
No?
I know.
Oh, that was the highlight for me. But just down on the river. Yeah, it's beautiful.
Yeah, I really love the people there. Like shout out to Black Tech Saturdays too. I feel like when I was there recently, they really were able to like wrap me with warm arms. Like I know I got to meet some incredible founders through them. We had like a nice dinner. I was able to do something separately and also connect with more people too. And I don't know, I just love the energy there and the excitement. It was just really cool seeing so many, literally, what was it called? Was it the Newman Lab? It's right across from where I was at the Boys and Girls Club of Greater Detroit. But when I walked in there, I just saw so many people, and a lot of them were Black individuals as well. They were just exciting and talking about things that they were working on. And I know when I was like eating my lunch, somebody came up to me to show them like their app and like walk me through. I did not know who this person was, and I thought that was just so cool. So I would say Detroit. I really think beautiful things are on the way in Detroit. I mean, there already are, but I do think people should be paying attention to Detroit. But yeah, I would say Detroit.
Okay, love it.
Yes.
So before we get you out of here, we'd love to do some rapid fire questions with you. Are you game?
Yes, this is fun. Yes.
Very good. All right, I'll go first. Morning person or night owl?
Oh, morning all day for sure. I cannot stay up past like 10 or 11 p.m. So yeah, morning.
Do you have a favorite camera or camera lens or photography tool?
Yeah, so I know I shoot with a Sony A7R4 right now. I really like my 85 millimeter 1.8 personally. I mean, it's always been tried and true for me. It's a prime lens, so probably that lens. I also like the 24-70 2.8, but 85 millimeter 1.8 for sure.
Very good. Your go-to soundtrack while working?
Wow, that's a good one. Soundtrack. I love Beyonce.
Or maybe artist.
Artist. I know I love Beyonce. I like Usher. So let me say one of those two. Yeah.
Okay.
Do you have a dream interview subject, living or dead?
Sorry, one more time.
A dream interview subject. So who would you like to interview, whether living or dead?
So definitely Beyonce, and then Rihanna from like a music business and entrepreneurial side for sure. Definitely them. I would have also added an Usher, but I did get to speak with them in Detroit. So I'm like, I don't have that. But I would definitely speak with
Usher, baby.
I know. I would say those two.
Beautiful. All right. One word that describes your reporting style.
Ooh, my goodness. Innovative and introspective. I know you said one, but I'm gonna say innovative and introspective.
That's good. That is very good. Love that. I can definitely see that from everything you shared with us today. So Samantha Dorisca, we are so grateful for you being with us today. I would love if you have any parting words, and certainly if you would like to give us any of your handles where people can reach you. We'll definitely put whatever you'd like in our show notes so that people can reach out to you.
I would say parting words, because I think in media, it's a challenging time for a lot of people. Like, I know like my heart is heavy sometimes for my peers, but I also know God is good and like things are going to still work out. But definitely like encouraging people to continue doing the work. It's not always easy. I know money is important, but also I encourage people to just continue doing the work, continue building, whether it's on your own strength, getting a little bit more creative. And then what other advice that I would give to people too? I guess take time to also understand like what your mission is. I know for me, like what my mission is, and I know irregardless of like what is happening in the world, that will continue to remain my moral compass. And that's really helped to kind of guide me forward. And I do trust that God is the one who will always like provide like a lane regardless of like what's happening. So stay rooted in whatever that mission statement is for you and never lose sight of that. And then as far as where people can find me, so on LinkedIn, I'm Samantha Dorisca. You guys can reach out to me if you ever need advice on like how to reach out to AfroTech. I'm always having conversations about that. If you have any questions on like I said, like understanding how to pitch, I sometimes can help people with that as well. And yeah, if you're maybe like wanting to also be a journalist, I'm always happy to be a resource. And if I can help in any other way. So LinkedIn, Instagram at Sammy Dore Media. I have my Twitter handle is also Sammy Dore Media. And then my email is samantha.doriska@blabity.com for anything. If you ever want to pitch editorially, for personal inquiries, sammydoremedia@gmail.com.
Wow. Love that. You've been so open with our listeners today. We cannot thank you enough, and love to continue to follow you and watch all the great things that you're doing out there. So thank you again for giving us your time and all of your wise words today.
No, thank you guys for doing this and like creating this space for us. Can't wait to see more of y'all's episodes and who else will be on here. But yeah, I appreciate you guys for creating this space. And this is fun. This is really fun. I'm really happy.
Wonderful.
Thank you.
Good.
May you be
Thank
well.
you.
Angela, today's conversation with Samantha Dorisca reminded me why storytelling matters. What pearls did you glean from Samantha?
Well, one of the first ones, I think, was her comment back when I'm trying to gleam on, what do you want to do 10, 20 years from now, is just the fact that she is living in the present. And that is something I think we can all learn from, and something I'm definitely trying to do. I was on the plane coming to Dallas and filming the clouds, which is always mesmerizing to me when you get, because we were flying through some rain, and you get above that level,
the clouds, yes,
above the clouds, but yet there were still those beautiful white, fluffy, like cotton ball clouds, and just being grateful for being right there in the moment, because there were so many other things that I needed to do. I had my day planner out. And, trying to check off the boxes.
I hope the Wi-Fi was off, because I'm like,
I don't even bother.
Good.
Yeah, no,
wonderful.
I don't. But no, living in the present, enjoying just the moment. And so that was something I needed to hear today. I thought her advice on paying attention to the next generation is sage advice, because as you and I both know, our world is growing rapidly in terms of technology and the way that we're communicating. Yeah, all the other stuff too. But and so it's the youth that are going to be those that are generating a lot of what we're doing, and they're so good at it just even right now. And so we're only able to really catch up in the moment, but just paying attention, because it's complaining about it is not going to do anything for us.
How about that?
Those are two things. So many lovely things that she had to say. Love her spirit in terms of, remembering the human in everything that we're doing. And so I think we definitely can relate to that in terms of how we approach medicine, but even how we approach our podcast is remembering the person behind the story and trying to uncover that. So how about you?
Amplifying voices. Yes.
Yes.
I want to shout out Detroit.
Yeah, right.
It's just, I love that she was like, you know what? I went to Detroit recently. I wasn't really
expecting that.
Exactly. Not at all. And certainly that whole Michigan area, I have family there. I'm going to say hello to Saginaw. And I was just happy to hear about all of the innovation and the investment. And then secondly, when she hit us with "How's your heart?" I was just stopped dead in my track.
Because in full transparency, she asked us that prior to the podcast starting, the filming part. So, and that set the tone, right, for our interview.
It really did, because I think that kind of, excuse the pun, gets to the heart of the matter and why we do Boss Sleep, because we want to know how's your heart. And I am going to be using that. So I want to thank Samantha Dorisca and her friend for asking the question, how's your heart?
Yeah, love that. And we would love to know how your heart is, and hopefully it is uplifted today a little bit by being in the present and during this hour of listening. And we would love for you to continue to listen on all streaming platforms. You can also reach us at bossleappodcast.com. That's boss, LEAP podcast.com. Particularly if you have any comments or if you'd like to see anything in particular or hear from anyone in particular, we'd love for you to subscribe on YouTube. And until we meet again, we hope that you will be very, very well.
May you be well.
That's a wrap on another episode of Boss Leap. May this conversation enlighten your path toward personal growth and professional empowerment. For more thought-provoking and eye-opening discussions like this one, head to our website at bossleappodcast.com. Always remember to celebrate your wins and trust yourself. A positive mindset can push you out of your comfort zone and into far greater heights. Until next time, may you be well.
Before we go, there's one more thing the lawyers have asked us to include. You know, it's the legal language, and you know how doctors love lawyers. This podcast is presented only for educational and entertainment purposes. Although we are doctors, on this show, we are just your friends. This podcast is not intended as a substitute for the advice of your physician, professional coach, psychotherapist, or other qualified professionals. Understood? Awesome. We'll see you in the next episode.